Hey guys, Kayla at Double Mill Farm. Today my daughter Kat is joining me. We're making violet jelly and she's actually going to do most of the work. This is one of her science lessons for the week. There's some thermal change colors that go on with this experiment, and there's some acid change colors and that kind of good stuff. We picked 1 quart of violet blossoms, and they're not really packed down in there. They're just kind of shaking the jar until it fills up. And when you pick them, all you need to do is make sure you get the stem part off, but you can leave the green on the end. It doesn't hurt anything. When you're picking these, make sure you're not over picking an area. The bees and butterflies and pollinators do still rely on these, so make sure you're kind of spreading out and only picking, a few from each area. And also make sure you're getting them from a place that does not use pesticides, because you're actually going to eat what you make with this. We're going to make a tea, and how we're going to do that is I'm going to switch her places and let her get started. She's going to put her violet blossoms in a half-gallon jar, and we actually picked these day before yesterday, and we've had them in the refrigerator just because I haven't had a chance to get to this. But we're switching to the half-gallon jar so that there's room for our water to go in there. And sometimes they stick. Just shake them in there best you can. But there's a cool color change process that happens when the heat actually touches the violet blossoms. Okay, so she's got her half-gallon jar, and you see how bright purple they are? She's going to add 4 cups of boiling water to this, and we should be able to see color change in just a few minutes. Okay, go ahead, 4 cups. I'm actually going to have her add 1 more, because when she's doing it, it's only filling up about 3/4 of the way. How many was that? Okay, so I'm going to add 5. So do 1 more. Okay, so that should actually be about 4 cups of water. Take your spatula, squish them down in the boiling water. And I don't know if you can actually see yet, but the water is actually turning a teal color. And these need to steep for 24 hours. So this video is actually going to be kind of a 2-part video. We're going to do this, and then we'll come back tomorrow and actually make the jelly and put the 2 videos together. But as they sit, it makes a tea, and you're actually going to use the water out of it to do that. Let me see real quick. I don't know. Here. Hold that. I don't know if you can see. You really cannot. Let me try coming closer. You can kind of see. Okay. You can kind of see. Bring your towel over here a minute, Catherine. Can you see how it's more blue than it is purple? As this sits, it'll turn a kind of a teal color. Violets themselves, if you stick a match or, put a heat source to them, the petals themselves actually turn teal. And it's actually kind of cool to watch. But so now she's got her tea started. We're just going to set a lid on it. And I'm not going to seal it because the heat will cause this to expand. I just want to make sure no dust is getting in there. But this is going to sit for 24 hours in a dark area while it steeps. And then tomorrow we'll strain it and make the rest of our jelly. So we're going to stop this for now and get back to the rest tomorrow. Okay, our violets have steeped all night long, and we're getting ready to make our jelly out of them. First thing first, Kat is going to strain them into a colander that's lined with paper towels and a coffee filter, and she's going to go slow so that hopefully she doesn't spill them everywhere. And they kind of have a funky smell, but it really does turn into a nice floral smell later on. Just right now they're kind of funky smelling. Okay, we're gonna let that drip through, but you can see just it leaves the flowers behind, and you can kind of see underneath the blue liquid starting to come through. After that's strained, we'll go on to the next step. Okay, real quick before we started boiling this down, I just wanted to show you that when it comes out of the jar, it's a real dark blue color. It's somewhat hard to see in the bowl, but that's a white bowl, so you can tell that it's dark. And this is exactly 4 cups of the steeped liquid from the violet blossoms, and now we're going to get it on to boil. Okay, while I'm waiting on the violet liquid to come to a boil, I just thought I'd show you my canning jars are in the canner with water, and they're boiling, and you can see some of the lids. The new bowl lids don't require boiling. These are some older lids of a different brand, so they do still require them to be boiled before you use them according to the instructions on the box. But these will boil to sanitize the insides and everything before I put the hot violet jelly in when it's ready. Okay, we're boiling now, and it has to be a full rolling boil, and if you watch when she stirs it, the bubbles disappear for a few minutes, but as soon as she stops, it goes right back to boiling. So you want a good boil going. And the next thing she's going to do is add a tablespoon of lemon juice. And if you watch, this is when it gets cool. You can see it's that bluish green color right now. When she adds the lemon juice, the acid in it should start to change it. Can you see how it's starting to turn pinkish purple? Okay, so I'm going to have her stir that in. And then I'm going to let that boil again for a little bit while we get the rest of our stuff ready to go. Okay, we've got our stuff ready to go. We're just using Sure gel for our pectin. I have it measured out in a bowl for her just because I busted the bag and it was going to be easier that way. But we're at a good boil. We've added our lemon juice, and now she's going to add the pectin and stir. And I want that to come back to a boil, and while we're waiting on it to boil, I'll measure out the sugar. Okay, we're ready for the sugar. We measure it out. It's 5 cups of sugar to go with the 4 cups of liquid, and she's going to dump that in and get it stirred in. Get it all stirred and mixed in. And then once this is all mixed in, it has to boil for another minute. And then after that, we ladle it, and her and I are going to switch places when we do that job so that she's not having to ladle the hot liquid into the jars. Okay, so we did our pectin and all that, and you can see it's kind of come to a boil. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. As you can see, I've been scooping some of the foam off as I go. This needed to boil for a full minute past adding the sugar, and now I'm ready to start jarring it. I'm going to pull it off my heat some, mostly because I don't have anywhere else to set it. I'm going to let it cool just a little bit, and then in a second I'm going to skim the rest of these bubbles off. You can actually add butter towards the beginning when you do this, but it sometimes leaves kind of a weird film on it that weirds some people out, so I'm not doing that with this. And because if this doesn't set up, we actually use it as a syrup to make mixed drinks, and you probably don't want butter in your mixed drinks. This stuff comes out tasting kind of like a grape Jolly Rancher, so it really does taste pretty good mixed in making adult drinks. Okay, let's see how much more of that I'm gonna skim. Alright, I'm not going to skim much more off that. My jars are already sitting out, and I don't know what I do with my ladle. There it is. I'm just going to ladle in what it takes to fill each jar. and you want to leave a little bit of headspace at the top for when you do it. I'm going to do just a tiny bit more. And you can usually have a rough guess as to how many jars it's going to fill, but depending on evaporation and all that good stuff, you're never 100% positive, so make sure you put more than you think it's going to do, just so you have them ready so you don't have to stop mid-thing and get new ones. And I'm doing a couple of the tiny jars too, just because I do make these to sell, and sometimes people just want the little jar to taste it. And then my lids are still sitting in the hot water just because I'm going to pull them out last minute and put on each one of the jars. And pretty frequently we end up with not quite a full jar. I don't know if this one's gonna be full enough or not. But when we end up with a jar that's not completely full, that becomes a house jar and we just get to eat that ourselves. Okay, so there they are full. This is just a paper towel that I dipped in vinegar to wipe the rim. It's white vinegar to wipe the rim of each one so that I can get a good seal once I add my sterilized lids. And then I have this cool little tool, and it goes down in the water and it's got a magnet on it, and the lids just stick right on. And I'm actually not going to show you the actual canning of these, but I do can them. They'll go in a hot water bath for, I think it's 10 minutes on these sizes. I always have to look at my notes and be sure. But the reason I'm not going to show you right now is because shortly we're going to do the dandelion jelly, and I just want to do them all at once. And the jars are hot. Put the lids on, finger tighten them. There's such a thing called open kettle, and people do that, and it's just basically where you're putting in the stuff so hot that when the lids go on, it seals. But I'm not going to do that because, like I said, I do sell these, and I am required, ouch, to hot water bath these at least to sell them. And I may, at the end of the dandelion video, I may show you how to do the hot water bath. But basically that's it. After they've set, while I'm waiting to do the dandelion, then I'll put them all in the hot water bath canner and can them, and then they'll be good to go. Thanks for coming, guys. Bye.